Uh, Looking at the pound dollar, this was our selling point to go short below 160.64. We are now at 160.05, so that we're about 60 pips on that trade, and probably that move happened on Friday. So looking at the pound dollar, again, this is another very interesting chart setup that I want you to see, and it is very indicative of what is happening right now. You can see that we really had a pretty good move to the upside, specifically above the 159 from this move from one all the way up to here, and then we began to decline. If you can focus a little bit or squint a little bit, you can see there's a failure to make a higher high. There is a structure, and then we came back. We had a failure trade to the upside, going back to test the 160, 166, and then we failed. So we are now putting a second lower high. So that is one lower high right there, and this is a second lower high right there. And this here, the 159.80, this has been the granddaddy of all the structural points for the pound dollar now for quite some time, for at least, going back until October of last year. So for the whole year, the 159.80, the 159.80, 159.80, 159.80, the 159.80, the 159, you can see how many times this has been a decisive price point with regards to the pound dollar. And we closed the week at 160, and we're 20 pips away or 25 pips away from the 159.8. So with that, our selling point, and if you look at the intraday, you can see the bias coming below the 161.10. Look at the capitulation, then you have a pause, and then another capitulation to the downside. So you can see the intraday structural point. There is your failure to make a high. There is your structure. It breaks below the structure, which is also the daily low. You got, this has been such a magnificent price point here, because it's been a daily low, a structural point, and an intraday structural failure. So it has been magnificent, and therefore you can see the capitulation that followed. This thing just came down 100 pips from 160.110 to 160. You got 60 pips in just a few minutes. So the bias is to the downside. We're looking for it to continue. So we will take it short below the low of the day. Here is 159.96. I suggest to be able to play it safe. We go short below the 159.80. So we're going to go short below 159.80. That is going to be our structural short point. So it's going to be our short point and our structural short point, and of course our stop. Okay. Now to buy this pound, with all this momentum and all this selling that's coming in, right here, this is our only area that we can buy. So we will buy it above 160.60. That is our structural long point. There is no place for us to buy it unless it gets above the 160.60. So this is going to be our structural long point, and it is going to be our stop. So the pound is quite easy. Our long point is going to be a structural point, and our short point is going to be a structural point. So we will buy it above the structural long point, which is the 160.64. That's going to be our long entry and our structural long point and our stop. On the short side, we're going to go short below the 159.80, which is our structure, which is our selling point, our structure short point, and our stop. Okay, that is the pound dollar right there. So let me save it over here, and we'll come back.